Yo, hey, what's up guys? In today's video it's gonna be a little bit different. I got hired for a takeover, I completed it, and afterwards he was like, hey, I need a coaching. And I thought to myself, it's a great opportunity to bring you guys in for everybody that is still struggling in AMIUS and maybe doesn't know how to handle some things. Let me put out the filter quickly. And let's quickly talk about firstly things that can end your run and you should not have on any of your champions that are covered in that one. And the first one is Cycle of Magic. That is a mastery that you should not have in there. It can break your run basically. So it's hard to explain when we go about everything in this run, but I want to make it as easy as possible for you. So Cycle of Magic, also like Merciless gear. If you have like a reset, reflex gear, any gear that can refresh your skills, you will be kind of in a trouble. That's what you don't want. And also like accessories, like I don't know how it's called right now. I think refresh. I'm not so sure. I don't spot any right now, but I think you know what I mean. Those things can end your run. Those are making your boss runs going crazy. That's what you don't want. But also there are some scenarios in the game where you wanna aim when your buffs are incoming and when they fall off. And if you have like something like this where it's extending your buffs and then you still have a buff where you actually don't wanted it to be there, then you are in trouble. So sometimes like this, not all the time, can hurt your run, but you gotta be aware that it can kill your run. And also the debuff variation. For example, we use heal reduction and we don't want the boss to flip it into continuous heals. Then we want to aim where it falls off, so the boss cannot take it for himself basically. So these are things that you want to kind of avoid. Not in all scenarios. The refresh things, yes, at all scenarios, but the buff extension, the debuff extension, just sometimes. But you will know what I mean in a little bit. So what is the first thing I'm doing on a takeover? I'm searching for a guy that has high stars. For example, I choose Eurogram. He's an epic, he can totally do it, does not matter. 4 to 6 star is recommended. That is what you're aiming for on an account. It's probably yours, and then you just do it like this. But what are you gonna do with them? We will call this high blessing guy, we will call him tank. That is what he is. What you're gonna do with the tank is pretty easy. For example, right now, usually you put him in regeneration set, and yeah, to make him survive, obviously. And you give him a lot of defense. All his things are defense based. So right here, defense based. This one is defense based. I hope this one, not everything per se needs to be totally on defense. There is one trick about it. Like you stack him up with defense and then you take a look. How much HP do I have? 56,000 HP. That means the tank needs to have the lowest one of them all. So all the other champions just need to have more than this one. So we can aim this champion to be a tank, the target for the hardest hitting attack in the game, and you kind of want to survive it. This is kind of, there are other ways, but they are so complicated that it's the easiest way to just go for high star. Whatever you take, if you take Aniri and you put her and you just put that gear on Aniri and she stands there and takes the hard, it's all okay. But you kind of want to have that champion to be a little bit more functional. In our case, it's Eurogram, he just heals himself and he doesn't really do too much. If you just want to have this champion and he does a little bit more, I did another video where we used Wixwell, but we cannot use Wixwell right now because he has 2 low stars, but he has a little bit more function than a Eurogram. Eurogram is just healing, but yeah, it's the tank, highest defense, lowest HP in your team, and a lot of stars. 4 to 6 star is recommended. That's where we put him. And the next thing is you need some source. Alright, it is not 100% needed, but it makes your life so much easier that I always look for it. It makes your life so much easier. You can use heal reduction. Of course, there are other ways to do it by just having a ninja doing more damage than the boss can actually heal or something like this. This is possible, yes, but the easiest way is just to use heal reduction. Use level up a couple heal reduction champions, especially for AMIUS, and you should be always fine. So what we're gonna do with that champion is, of course, I have already everything prepared. It is already done. I did the takeover already for him, but we're gonna do a regeneration set on her. I would use a Eurogrim in regeneration too, or if I had a Wixwill as a tank or something, it's always regeneration to make your life easier. But a Eurogrim doesn't need it for me because he can heal by himself. So we put her also in a regeneration set. Obviously you can use a little bit more champions later on than me right now, and they could be healers. I don't have too many experience if you just bring healers instead of regeneration set. It is possible, but regeneration just makes it so much easier overall. So you put in the regeneration. Of course, she needs accuracy to land her heal reduction. That is, yeah, you need that for everybody that needs it. But I have a little bit low because we're gonna use a accuracy lead, no problem. But what you're gonna be paying attention to is that you have more HP than your tank. That is basically it. Of course, you want to still have some defense and all that, survivability, but you want to have more HP than your tank. Alright, so basically that could be already a team. We're gonna make our life a little bit more easy in our scenario. We're gonna use a third champion. I, for myself, thought it is a little bit more easy to do it with lesser champions and then just put more, like you usually don't have 5 times a regeneration set or something to do it with 5 people. So most of the time I go for 2 or 3. So I take him also in. I'm gonna show you quickly what he is. Wixwill, gonna use him. He's also in a regeneration set because that is really nice. You don't, like I said, you don't need it if you have healers, but usually healers don't do healing so much and in all time. So then we make sure on him to have more HP than our tank again. And then you, of course, you want to have the accuracy. We're gonna use an accuracy lead. So he's a little bit over top, but that's how the person who wanted to take over built him like, and it's totally fine. And let's quickly talk about masteries, what makes your life way easier. First of all, it's this one. If you are in AMIUS and the AMIUS heals, even he does a fake heal, you have like heal reduction out there, then you just use this one and you get some heal out of it. Like that's basically free heal for just being there. That's what you really want to. The rest can be kind of, yeah, like again, avoid this one and maybe those two. Like it's not necessary all the time, but just kind of avoid it if you want to do it. And that's all about the preparation. Again, quick summary. Wait, we put our accuracy lead quickly in here because that is a nice little tip. About speeds, it's always 250 plus and you should be fine. What did I want to do? I put an aura in here correctly. So that's about the preparation. Of course, make sure that you have all the things that you need. Wait, am I... Okay, for some reason I couldn't put in the accuracy lead, but here we are. I put one in. I give you a quick summary. You need 250 speed across those champions who are actually in the fight. For example, he will not be in the fight at all, so he doesn't count obviously. And 450 accuracy for those champions that actually need it. For example, right now all of our champions need accuracy and that's where we aim for. Let's talk about the tank again. A lot of stars, 4 to 6 star blessing is highly recommended. Lesser wouldn't be so great, could be done with high gear, but I wouldn't just recommend it. So 4 to 6 stars, then you make him a lot of defense. So just everything is based on defense and the least HP on your team. Like lesser than, for example, Marshall and Wixwill in our scenario. For the next thing, you need a... Okay, you don't need it actually, but it makes your life so much easier that I prefer it myself. I go the heal reduction route. Put a heal reduction champion in regeneration set and you should be fine. Of course, you gotta have the accuracy. And what we're gonna use Wixwill for is having another source of brimstone in our team. So that is the damage where we're coming from. But like heal reduction could also be changed with a ninja that does a lot of damage and just does more damage than the boss can actually heal for. That is something that you can do too. But I just like the heal reduction one where the boss is actually never healing. So let's talk about the boss. He has 2 phases. I think you know that already. I will call it a healing phase because he's healing right there. He's also debuffing us in a little bit of damage. But the most threatening form is the attacking form, where we have to prepare. That's why we made all the tanks and all the preparation basically. But I'm gonna explain you quickly the boss, what kind of things he is looking out for. Right now we are in a phase where the boss is counteracting your things. For example, he has 2 skills right now. He can use that one and he will transform our Wait, is that one? No. Alright, that one. Where he can stun us, and also he transforms all the debuffs what we put out on there into its positive. For example, heal reduction gets to a continuous heal. And right now he is checking what kind of skill is he doing. And it only depends what kind of things you do. Right now, for example, we are gonna take a normal route. We're just gonna attack him quickly, and then he's gonna decide, just quickly, I'm gonna use this skill right here where I'm healed, because I don't have any debuffs what I can flip in this moment. But if we go out quickly and gonna enter again, he will behave a little bit different, because I will, wait, right there, because I will do a different approach right now, where I'm gonna do it like this. I'm gonna put out a heal reduction. That is number 1 of 8. Oh, it got resisted. Of course it got resisted. Yes. That is just how it is. But yeah, let's quickly, oh, come on, wrong button again. So I'm gonna approach it a little bit differently. Hopefully this time it's actually gonna land. So I'm gonna put out 1 debuff. 1 debuff does not mean he uses his skill. Let's just go check for 1 debuff. 1 debuff that he can flip. He is still checking like, okay, I have only 1 debuff right now. I will use that skill right here, because I had only 1 debuff. And the next thing is why he's counteracting you. That's why you have to be so precise about the path what we're gonna use in a second. Wait, this button right here. And yeah, we're gonna use a path where we force the boss to do what we want instead of the boss going ham. So again, we're gonna use this time 2 debuff. 2 debuffs right here. Debuff number 1. And this one doesn't matter. Just quick explanation that a poison, for example, is not flippable. This skill right here cannot flip a leech into something else. So this debuff does not count. A poison does not count because he cannot flip it into anything. A brimstone does not count because he cannot use this skill on those. So only things that are listed in here are counting as a debuff what the boss has and can flip. But we're gonna use 2 debuffs now. He can flip, decrease attack, and also heal reduction. Now he decided to use his other skill. He stunned us, and then he used his A2 because we were stunned. So that is how we approach the whole fight basically. We're gonna go out now, and I'm gonna just show you what I do. That is the route about the debuffs. What you have to know. What is about the debuffs? When can I use what? Basically, the boss decides what kind of things he does. But let's talk about quickly the buffs. Right now, for example, it is the beginning of the healing phase. That's where I recommend everybody use all the buffs in the world. Use it, you have nothing that really hurts you about it. But what we're gonna do right now, for example, some buffs. Right now we're gonna attack the boss. The boss is gonna use this skill because we don't put any debuffs what he can flip. So we decide what the boss is actually doing. And in a little bit I show you the route, what you actually have to do step by step. And it should be okay. But I'm just gonna show you basically the mechanics behind the boss. So let's put out this. He will stun us, he will attack us. It's okay, everything is okay, because you use your buffs on the beginning of the healing phase to have your buffs increase speed, but we need to make them fall off in a certain scenario, because if you don't, you have something like this right now, where we have, now on purpose, I used some buffs right now, and then we're gonna go into the next form of the boss right now, and he will flip our buffs what we set. So that increased speed gets to a decreased speed, and so on. Like, there's so many things that can flip, and we want to avoid that, and it is simply by using all your buffs on the beginning of the healing phase, and then just never use them again, so you have no buffs later on when we enter the next form. So I'm gonna show you now the path that we're gonna use, because now you know we make the boss, we force the boss to do what we want, and so on. So right now we're gonna use all our buffs. That's what I literally said. I can use this. I don't use any debuffs right now because the boss will flip it into his positive anyway. So it is something that you kind of don't want to use. Poison doesn't count as a flippable debuff. And we try to get the brimstone out there. No, it didn't happen. So what we're gonna do now is, I need to care a little bit of Eurogrim because his HP, he doesn't have regen set. He can heal himself, but I kind of need to focus a little bit on it. Right now, still, I don't use any debuffs because he will just use this skill afterwards and gonna flip it. So I'm not gonna deliver the boss any good buffs for him. That's literally what I would do when I put a debuff or 2 debuffs, especially right out out right now. So let's go for the poisons. Still, they don't count as a flippable, so that's okay. I'm not gonna use decrease attack because we need that a little bit later. So he stuns us. We can avoid the stun. You can put a block debuffs champion in there, then you can avoid it. And some champions have a little bit higher cooldowns on their skills. So it's maybe a good tip to have a block debuffs champion in there, but put him also in regeneration. That champion has to be more HP than your actual tank, Eurogrim in our case. And it's just a thing that is not needed all the time. So block debuffs is a good thing, but you don't actually need it. So we got stunned and the boss attacked. No, okay, he didn't attack us yet. We're gonna use one more skill. So he's gonna attack us now. What we take care of is that number right there. That kind of shows you how long you have until the boss changes his form. What we don't want to use is any buffs or something right now. We want to get rid of all our buffs, what we have right now. We're gonna be in this when the boss has a 1 right there. We don't have any buffs right now, and you should be fine. So what we're gonna do right now is we can use decrease attack in this moment, and you should always use it. So we're gonna use our Wixwell if he takes a turn right there, and we can use decrease attack. That's the only time where you actually use decrease attack in the whole fight. It is kind of tempting to use it right now, but I already explained you that if you use 2 debuffs what the boss can flip, then he will decide to use the flip. And right now the boss is checking also which kind of debuffs do I have and which skill am I using when I change to my other form. That is what he's checking. So decreased attack and heal reduction, what we use right now, would make the boss flip our debuffs into positives. So that's why you do not use any decrease attack or decrease defense. And some other skills, I cannot take a look at the skills right now of the other form, but you know that skill that can flip it. So what we're gonna do is, why we prepared our Eurogrim so hard is that he will get attacked now. The hardest hitting attack right now, but also it is not really the hardest hitting attack. If you have a lot of blessings, the boss will ignore defense with the next upcoming attack, but he will not ignore that much of defense if you have high blessings. That's why we navigate the skill to this guy right there. Do we need to do anything here? Yeah, of course, I will also kind of get increased defense out right now because it's a really good way to buff up right now. He gets attacked and he survives. That's why the blessings are there, the lowest defense to navigate the attack on him, and he would just survive and nothing really bad happens. If that champion right there who got attacked, Eurogrim in our case, would die, we kind of are in a problem. Not a run ending problem. You can still kind of recover, but it's getting hard. We're gonna use buffs right now. That is totally okay because the boss is just taking on debuffs right now. We have delivered him 1 debuffs. Leech doesn't count as a flippable again. And then we're just gonna continue right now. The boss is gonna decide now in which attack he does in his next form. We're gonna use this one right now. And so on. So the boss is gonna do now his next attack. And that's the route where we force him to. If we put out decrease attack now or something, then the boss would do act a little bit different. And that's not good. Like the route what I'm gonna show you is I think the easiest of them all. So the boss decided to use his healing skill. But he had heal reduction, so he wasn't able to heal at all, and that's actually what we want. And still, we don't do any debuffs that is flippable right now, because the boss is about to do this skill, where he flips all our debuffs into positives for him. And that's what we don't want, so decrease attack, no, right now. And so on, that is basically how we do it, and I think I'm gonna do now the whole run with you guys. Just quickly, does he need any here? No, he's not in the region, so I gotta be careful a little bit. So he stunned us, he attacked us, that is nice. Like we get, in our case, the intercept from Wixwell is actually holding back the stun from one of our champions and the sleep what he's gonna do. Usually you take like 1 turn less or something because intercept kind of helps you really good. We are about in this one. There's no buffs right now because we want no buffs when the boss is actually gonna flip. So what we're gonna, intercept doesn't count as a buff that the boss can flip. So what we're gonna do again is right now, are we having enough HP on him? That is nice, looking fine. And we're gonna use decrease attack. This is on a run, I use decrease attack. Also, you can put out decreased defense and all that. This is no problem at this moment in time when that was on a 1. Like the passive was on 1 and we are super okay about it. So, I think because he had intercept, there's one more round than usually, but usually you sleep here, then he attacks you, but we squeeze one little attack in there. Usually that attack comes, and then afterwards you kind of decide. From that moment on, we can use buffs again. That is no problem, because he will not flip it. We're gonna use this one, heal reduction, and no other debuffs that the boss can flip. Decrease attack, decrease defense, decrease crit rate, decrease crit damage, some things like this. And right now, do we need some heal on him? I think we need, so we're gonna heal him. We're gonna put the intercept and the increased defense on him, some buffs that like strengthen and all those goody things that can just, yeah, help you to survive the next attack. So we're navigating this A1 again to Eurogrim by having the lowest defense and the highest blessing. This can be anyone. For real, you can put more champions in here, but that's a good thing. I show you, you can do it with a couple. So if you put a little bit more in here, you should be fine. So he got attacked. I'm gonna just heal him by heal reduction, not heal reduction, continuous heals and all that. And then I make the boss again do his A2, I think it was, the attack where he heals. I make him do it. And we can buff again, there is no problem. And again, the buffs should stop. Like the boss is doing the first attack when he goes into his heal form. In this moment in time, you can still use your buffs, but then don't put any buffs anymore, because you want to enter the next thing without having any buffs. And it's simply easy by just using now buffs and then just don't use them again. No decrease attack, because the boss would flip this one. Like, yes. And we let the boss do his do. And yes, no heal reduction, because he would flip it anyway. We're just gonna chill. We make the boss do what we want him to do. Do we need any heals on him? No, we don't. That is good. Gonna attack us again. We are healing by regeneration sets, and Eurogrim is just really tanky, and also he can heal himself. That's why he's actually in here. So this is on a 1 again. That means no buffs, no nothing. We just A1 right now. He has enough HP, but decrease attack. Just to hold a little bit attack back. That decrease attack is not needed, for real. That is really not. But it's just helping out. Like, yeah, that's the moment in time where you actually can use it without any negative outcome. So you actually should use it if you have a decrease attack. And that's sometimes also the problem what some champions have. They have like A1 decrease attack by 30% or something. Then you use it and then you have too many things that the boss can flip. And then he will act differently. So what we're gonna do again, like that is the phase where we have the intercept. That's why usually he does this attack. Right now, this is okay. And now we don't need to heal. Fine. We put all the buffs now to save up our tank, strengthen, increase defense, ally protection. If your other guy is also really tanky, that helps. Like then you maybe can use a champion that has less stars than 4. Like blessing stars, he maybe has like 3 and an ally protection, then this can work. Right now we can also buff, there is no problem, no negative outcome about that. He already did the thing where he used our buffs to put them in negatives, and that won't happen in a long time. Yo, these videos are a little bit longer than I hope, but hey, than I wanted it to be, but I hope I'm gonna explain it a little bit fluid to you guys, that you have a really good experience in there. To just make your life a little bit more easy. So what happened? He did attack us. So I'm gonna do heal with the continuous heals right now. I'm gonna just no debuffs, because the boss is still deciding what kind of skill am I using when I go into my heal form. Am I using the other one? Let me check my debuff. And he does actually only have one debuff that he can flip. So he decides not to use the flipping one. So we can actually have something out of this heal reduction. Alright. He should be. Why not? I can't actually see the whole HP bar. Maybe he has a little bit too low or something. Let's go. Alright, and that's how we continue. He used the A2 again. That's what we made him to do. No decrease attack, because he would flip it anyway. Increase attack, and actually we don't want him. Now still we can use, he used his first heal in his healing form. So we can still use some buffs right here. And just attack him. Hopefully my Eurogrim is kind of surviving it. Alright. this is on our 1 again, right there. So we're supposed to use the decrease attack. Really helped out. Basically, no buffs and decrease attack. Everything else could be also kind of used. Decrease defense or something. It's no problem. But again, no debuffs. We need actually that heal reduction in a second. Gonna heal him up. And nothing here. I don't know if I kill him in the right base. That is also a thing that you might know. When you kill him in the attacking form, then he will just revive and keep continuing. So, but I show you one time that I can deplete the whole HP bar and then I should be fine. And yes, boss is gonna use this skill right here. We can now use buffs again. No problem. This one, speed and the heal reduction now. So the heal reduction is actually triggering at the right point. And that's kind of what I mean if you have, for example, heal reduction, the 30% chance mastery to extend that one. That debuff would go longer than you thought, and this could be then flipped into a continuous heal if that stays too long. That's what I mean. This stuff can sometimes end your run. He didn't use his A1 yet, so just use this one, put this increased defense or whatever you have in that moment. The champions don't matter, it's only about the functions basically. So, okay, one right here. He survived again. It's kind of, if you prepare really good, it's not so game breaking anymore for you. We can use this a little bit here, right there. No decrease attack because he's still deciding like, hey, what am I using? I think you know the drill. I can still use some buffs right now because it's the time window to do it. He used his first attack in his healing form, so we're still allowed to use some buffs. That's what I'm gonna use right now. And then no debuffs because he's about to flip anyway. I don't want that. No, there's no way. I'm gonna give him now continuous heal and he will heal the whole time. Nope, it's not gonna happen. And right here we just has that quickly. Let's go. Why not heal him? Okay, that was actually not the most needed. Decrease attack right now because this is on a 1. And no buffs because he would flip it into negatives for us anyway. So no problem. Gonna use this. The Eurogrim gets a turn right here, but that's not usually happening for all the teams out there. It's just because of the intercept. That's why he does not get a sleep. And so on. A1. Then we put this increased defense and stuff on him again. Use buffs, no problem. Heal reduction. And we can heal him again. No problem. We just take it slowly. The video is long, really long, but hopefully some people just who struggle, they have a better time now. The boss is kind of complicated. That's why I show you the route. That is really easy. Yeah, and probably you can do it. So I won again. Can you die once now? That was his first attack right here. You see that only is that used, so I can still use my buffs, no problem. Just use it there. But they need to fall off in the right time. But not all buffs in the world are effectable. Like for example, he has Wixwell has counterattack and the boss cannot flip counterattack, so it is okay to have that one. You just don't want to have any buffs that you can flip. Quickly we're running them out, no problem. Alright, this is on a 1, we use the decrease attack. If we don't have a decrease attack, it's not the end of the world, you just... Yeah, it's sometimes about your stats and all that, like how much HP do you have left. There's one exception, like, okay, guys, sometimes there will some funky stuff happen for you. But I'm gonna show you quickly what I mean. Like right now, for example, he's gonna flip, wait. So he's gonna flip now, then he's gonna sleep us because of intercept. Eurogrim actually got slept, but it's okay. Like right now, okay. The only exception, we are navigating the hard-hitting attack to Eurogrim. That's what I told you. The only exception when the boss does not do it is when the other champions have too low HP. Let's say for example, Marshall has 10%, 20% HP left, and the boss decides who to attack. Then he will decide to attack the Marshall or whoever has like really super low HP. We're gonna heal him right now. That's for example why the region set is so juicy, because also you heal in here. The boss is gonna sleep you. You still tickle the heal. right now we can do a double turn right here, so I think you should be safe if you have like 50% HP left on the other champions and the tank of yours is supercharged on his HP, the boss will still attack Eurogrim. But just be in mind that 10%, 20% makes the boss attack someone else. And we're gonna use heal reduction. Did I not do anything? Oh wait. I think I messed up a little bit. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I think I was in the wrong turn or something. Wait, yeah. I think the last part is kind of... let me recover. I think I can't recover. Oh. Now you see why you do all the preparation. It's kind of good, let's be for real. Because that everything I did to this point was really nice for us, right? Everything was working really nice. But then I kind of lost the track of the boss because I was talking a little bit too much and messed up something. But now let's see what's gonna happen. He's gonna flip and all these beautiful buffs that we have are actually negative now. Like heal reduction. We don't want heal reduction at all. We can... I'm gonna recover. But I'm not gonna finish the whole run because the boss is almost full again. And... Wait, what? The boss... Is his... He healed right now. He's not so... Wait, I think he had heal reduction. Okay, I'm dripping right now. So, you see right here, the boss can be sometimes complicated. And don't get sidetracked and stuff. Simple things like that can kill it. But yeah, I think I lost kind of... Okay, I think that is enough. It's a really weak showcase that I lost on the end. But I'm sorry. I think you understand it. And that will be basically it about it. And do I have to tell anything else? Do I forget anything? Usually I forget something. I showed all the stats. I think I did not show all the masteries of this champions. So I will quickly do that for you. Just quickly that you know. Here's War Master. Like nothing too special. And Wixwell. He has basically his stuff. Like this one right here helps really a ton. Here's free healing. Every time. I told you which one to avoid. Wait, who did I not show yet? This dude. And yeah, that's basically it. I hope you understand. The boss is controllable. You have to do your stuff to make the boss do what you want. You have to build yourself a tank that can take that super hard hitting attack, or the boss goes a little bit too crazy out of control and it's really hard to recover. But if you keep yourself to those rules, you should be fine, and every time you go in there, you should just do the AMIUS, kind of freestyle every time. And if you have any problems, of course, you can still come over and say like, hey Bronco, I need a takeover. But yeah, that will be the end of the video. Press the like button, subscribe if you haven't done already, and yeah, have a nice day.